Hi everyone, this is Christine from Mail Something Pretty, and today I wanted to show you how to make a card using your Stamparatus in a circular motion. So a lot of people are putting in wreath cards with Stamparatus as like a search engine for Pinterest or Google, and so this is kind of what you're going to come up with is a circular stamping method, and you use your Stamparatus, and I wanted to show you how I made my version. So these are the cards. It's really the same card. It might look a little similar if you are on my mailing list. I send you a free tutorial on how to make a gift card, and it's using the exact same colors and stamp set. So it has a similar feel, but it's a different construction of a card. So if it looks a little familiar, that's why. And if you're not on my mailing list, I encourage you to do so because you will get weekly emails, newsletters, tips, videos, and some good paper crafting information. And you can do that right at my website at mailsomethingpretty.com, and right on the right sidebar there's a box just for your name and email, and you'll get sent that tutorial. Okay, so what we're going to do today, so this is, I just dropped something. This is our Stamparatus, and it comes with this base. It comes with two clear pads that hook into the hinges right there, and so you can stamp in two different ways. It also comes with a foam pad that goes on top of here if you're using photopolymer stamps, but the stamps that we're using today is red rubber, so I don't have that foam pad on here. But what we're also going to use is grid paper. There's different methods of doing this. If you go on Pinterest, you'll see different types of templates. I came across this one, actually it's the first one I looked at, and I really liked it, so I am using it. And I don't remember her name. She was a demonstrator from the United Kingdom, so thank you. I don't remember your name, but I liked your method of how you did it. So you use grid paper, and this is just a pack of grid paper that fits right into your Stamparatus. It has the imperial or the metric on both sides, and what I did was I drew all over it. This was the first one, but I'm going to show you an easier way. I was measuring out like a 3x3 box and a 4x4 and a 5x5, and then I discovered if I cut out, my 3x3 just fell on the floor, just size boxes, and then you can trace it. I did 4x4, and actually what I did first is I did the biggest one first. The 5x5 size, I'll show you what it looks like. It's too big for a regular standard size card, but if you had a larger envelope or a custom size envelope or scrapbooking, that's a good size. But you can see how it kind of fills up the grid paper. So you just put it on here and trace, and then you trace it again. This will make sense in a few minutes. And then I worked from bigger down than I did 4x4, because for the grid paper, it's just 2 blocks in on each side, and so like that way. In the 3x3, I did it like that. You can even color code them if you want, but I don't think it's necessary. Okay, so all that confusion will make sense in just a second. So I'm going to put my grid paper down and hold it down with my magnets, and then these are the supplies. Actually, I'll show you. I'm going to use the Perennial Birthday stamp set. I'm going to use this flower and this leaf. And I'm going to put this flower on the inside. You can make this circular motion with lots and lots of stamps. So before I start with that card, I'll show you, like I did, this is a 3x3 size, and that's with like little baby diaper pins. And then the same method, which I'm going to show you, on the 4x4 size, it just makes the kind of that circle shape get a little bit bigger. So you have to play with it with your stamp size, because each stamp is different, and then which size paper you want as to how together you want it. So this was one stamp that actually overlapped, and this is that same stamp, so that actually kind of worked out. That's the stamp, and then it did here, but we're in here to overlap, so you kind of get a different feel. So again, you can play with it. I'm going to show you this, and it's the same method for all of it, and then you'll have fun. It was kind of addictive making the different shapes. Okay, so I'm using a 4x4 because this card is actually 4 1/4 square. So my first layer is 4x4. So I'm just going to put it here. I'm not going to put a magnet on it. I'm not going to tape it down because we're going to be moving it. And I need to grab my 2 stamps we need. So what I'm going to do is, so with a red rubber, you see how you have a little, there's a big space actually on this one between where the stamp is in the rubber. So take that in consideration with your border. So I'm actually going to line really the edge. It looks like the edge of the stamp, but I know it's not going to stamp right on that edge. And then I'm just going to push that down and it sticks. Okay. And what I'm also going to do, I like to put a stamp set underneath because it's the right dimension to nice width in it when you're stamping it. And I just realized I left my stamp spot over there. Stamp spots, which are like ink pads like this big that come with paper pumpkin kits, are perfect for especially this little one, but it's over there. So I'm just going to use a regular stamp pad. Sometimes you'll get ink on the pad, but that's okay. So I inked my flower and I'm just going to push down. And there we go. We get the first stamp. So what I'm going to do is rotate my paper. Doesn't matter which direction. But so this was the middle square here. And I'm going to just follow it with that square. So it's on the diagonal. And I'm going to ink it and stamp. So you can kind of see, and then I'm going to rotate it again back to the square. I'm going to ink and stamp. So I'm going to do this so it goes all the way around. And that's why if I put a magnet on it, I'd have to lift the magnet up each time. Or if there's a little tape underneath it, it would, you know, pull it up and then it'd move the grid paper. So I find that you really don't need it. And it lines up really nice in your marked, you know, the line squares that you made with your template, and you can reuse it over and over. I know some people will laminate them, and so they're good for a really long time. I haven't done that just yet, but it's a good thing to do, so, you know, in case it gets marked up, you don't have to create new ones each time. Okay, so one more with this one. Okay, so I have my circular wreath, and that's fine. In some stamps that might be enough, but this one I'm actually going to stamp the leaves in between the flowers. So again, I have that lip, so I'm going to try to, as best I can, put in there. So that's, I think, where I want the placement. I'm going to take this one off and stick that one down. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to ink and press. Oh, got a little mark. Actually, it's probably good I'm showing you that. It's what worked. The spots work out nice. So I'm just using my chamois just to wash that off. I got a little ink. You won't really notice it. I got a little ink where I didn't want it though. Okay, so now I'm going to rotate it. Gonna lightly ink and press and rotate, ink and press, and I'll do that going all the way around. So this one, the leaf, you can kind of see it's not, because that one was on a diagonal and that one's on a horizontal, the placement, just because of how the rotating of the flower, so that leaf goes a little bit in the flower, and that's okay. You can play with your designs and figure out, you know, which stamps work better together. The photopolymer are really nice because you can see right through them, so you get the exact placement. With a red rubber, you have a little bit of a guesswork. But for this card, I think that's totally fine. And you'll see in a second when I color it, you won't even notice that that leaf is going into the flower. Oops. The nice thing is too, is I got a little ink as I dropped that ink pad on my plate, but I'm only pressing where the stamp is, so the ink over here is not touching my paper. Okay, so there we go. So that, see how super easy that was? I'm just a little rotating of the paper each way. When I first heard about it, I thought you had to do all these funky things with the plates, but really it's just a rotating of the paper, which makes it really easy. Okay, and how I colored it, where's it? One is darker than the other, and that's with a sponge dauber, so you can make it as dark or light as you want. So I'm using Lovely lipstick and this little sponge dauber that fits right on your fingertip. And this is like, I feel like I'm cheating when I do this because it's so fast to color, but I really like the look of it. Again, you can make it as dark or as light as you want, and I'll do the same thing for the leaf. So it's quick. Yeah, see, I don't even think you're going to notice that that leaf is in the flower, because it has like a little impressionism to it, I think. Okay, so that was super quick coloring, and then we'll just put the card together. I have I already cut the circles, and so I'm going to use I use both. Here's to celebrating you with a happy birthday, but I think I'll just use the happy birthday for this one. And I'll just use a regular clear block. And I know you've seen in other videos, I like to put my words on a diagonal because I feel I can place them better when I'm stamping. There we go. And actually, you know what? We'll do the inside too while I have the inks open. Where's, here we go. We'll do this flower. And I don't think I said this. I use smoky slate for the gray. I thought, oops, sometimes I don't press them long enough. I thought I used black. I thought it was too harsh, too much of a contrast. So I like the smoky slate. And then we'll just color this one the same way. This one might even have enough green on it without, yep, there's plenty of green on there. So super quick. All right, so my piece of the base for the cardstock is 8.5 by 4 1/4, and I scored it on the 4 1/4. Just going to fold that in half, and I left my snail over there. Let's see if I can reach some. I'm going to disconnect my mic for one second. You know, every time I think I have something over here, I moved it. Okay. So let's see, I have a little smudge there. I'm trying to think. I'm going to go this way because I'll put the ribbon kind of to hide it. Okay. I already cut these two with the Big Shot. I used my layering circles, framelits dies. And this is Lemon Lime Twist. Wish I did it this way. And Lovely Lipstick are the two colors I used. And then I used Dimensional on this one. I'm running out, so I just usually cut the edges. Make sure you use all pieces of your dimensionals. All right. Really kind of comes together when you put this one on here. There, and my bow, I had it on a table. Where's that? Oh, that's what fell too. Jeez, I'm dropping everything. Let's see if I can reach. Okay, I already pre-tied the bow, and I know I have glue dots. I took them out. Here they are. See which's the better side. I think that's the better side. I like to stick my things onto the glue dots and then peel them off. I think a better job of, I'm going to mask that kind of muddy color. You won't even see it. Put the inside in. And there is our card that we made in the circular motion of the Stamparatus to make a wreath. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you experiment. It's a lot of fun. I made a couple other ones. But have fun. You saw how super easy it is. But you do need to try out the different stamps to see the placements. Like I said, each placement's a little different. So just figure out what you want to do. Just grab some scrap paper and try it out before you do it on a finished card. But have fun. And again, please visit my website. Sign up for my mailing list at mailsomethingpretty.com and enjoy the video. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.